What's up, everybody, and welcome to day 2 of the Launch Your Brand Challenge. So pumped to be with you. I hope you're having a wonderful morning and you're ready to get started, taking some action today on day 2 of the Launch Your Brand Challenge. I want to start off this session and every session by just saying hello and welcome, and thank you so much for joining. I want to jump over to the chat and just say hi to a few people watching as we get starting today. So if you're watching right now and you haven't been using that chat, jump in the chat. Say what's up, say hello. I'd love to know where you're watching from. I'd love to know maybe what niche you chose yesterday. I'd love to know a little bit about what you're working on. We just want to get to know you here at Shirt School. So I want to say hi to some people over in the chat. I see Property Solutions Real Estate watching with us. Musical Instrument Warehouse. What's going on? Good to see you. Jason Humphrey in the house. What's up, Jason? Daniel, what's going on? Danielle, I'm so sorry. Danielle, welcome to the stream. Glad to have you here. April, what's going on? Great to see you. Angelica, what is up? We also got Venona Creations in the house from Sweden. Wow, that is awesome. I have been over to Norway, but I did not make it over to Sweden when I was over there. I thought I was actually going to get to go to Sweden, but I did not. So that is awesome. I've been close. Media Windows Maker, what's going on? Great to see you. Matt, what's going on from Tennessee? Cannon, what's up? Work Athletics in the house. Tennessee Tweety, what's going on? Man, it's great to see everybody. Nancy Riley, what's up? Lance, great to see you. Joe and Roy, it is so great to see everybody. Well, I want to get it going today. We have so much to get through. Today is going to be another action-packed day. Lots of information and valuable nuggets coming your way today. So I want to take a second, just ask you to lock in today, get ready to take some action, get those notes out, get that notepad out. However you're taking notes, however you're paying attention, want to just encourage you to lock in right now and get the most out of this that you can. And I also want to just appreciate you guys for paying to be here. You paid $5 to be a part of this challenge, and I know it seems like a small amount. And my goal is to over deliver just way more information where you feel like you got an incredible value out of this. But also, I believe that those that pay attention. And so you guys, man, kudos to you for investing into yourself, even a small amount. I know that's going to return huge for you if you just lock in this week and continue to pay attention, continue to take action. So kudos to you. To start off today's session, I want to go through just some quick reminders for you. Quick reminders about this week, the schedule, all those kind of things. So let me just jump into that. And then right after that, or after just a few slides, we'll jump into the meat and potatoes of today's content. So I'm going to share my screen. I wanted to throw this up today. I wanted to just let you know, if anybody here is watching and you would like to get text reminders. I know many of you are probably already on the text message list. We know that email reminders can be finicky sometimes. Sometimes they go to spam. Sometimes they go to promotions and different things. So if you're on this call and you're not getting our text reminders, you can go over to shirtschool.com/SMS. And you can actually just put in your first name and your phone number, and we will send you text message reminders each day for each session. So if you just want to make sure you get those reminders, you're here every day, just go ahead and sign up for that. I also want to let you know, yesterday we had a issue with our text message provider, and the morning notification did not go out, which was really frustrating because it was day one. We wanted to get as many people in here as we could, but that reminder did not go out. The good news is the system was able to get fixed. We got them out yesterday afternoon. We got them out this morning. So going forward, we expect those to be working well. So if you want to get SMS reminders, just go over to shirtschool.com/SMS and sign up there. Also, just a reminder about the session schedule. We are going to be here every day until Friday, same time, same place, coming to you live at 11 a.m. Central Time, 12 p.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. So make sure you're showing up Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So we got 4 days, including today, 4 sessions. Replay videos. You're probably watching on this website right now, shirtschool.com/watch now, but just bookmark that, save it. That's where you're going to be able to watch the replays throughout the week. So if you miss any sessions, if you have something going on, you can't quite make it, you can always go over to shirtschool.com/watch now. You can catch the replay sessions. Or if you're on this right now and you're like, I need to catch up on day one, if you just go to this link, shirtschool.com/watch now, and you actually just scroll down, you will see all the sessions there as they become available, as those live streams become available. Also, huge thank you to our sponsors, 2 amazing companies that I use each and every day and believe in. Gelato Print on Demand. I want to make sure you're at tomorrow's session because we're going to be talking all about how Gelato can help you in the kind of the grand scheme of your business and what they have to offer. So I definitely want to plug them. Make sure you're here tomorrow for that. Also, Placeit by Envato. Placeit is an amazing tool. I've literally been using Placeit for like 9 or 10 years. Like it's one of my number one tools to use. in this business. So Place It is amazing. We're going to be also talking about Place It tomorrow. I'll be demoing some of the features that they can add to your business, which is really, really cool. So I want to just say a huge thank you to them for helping us put on this event, helping us make it really affordable, $5, right? Which is really cool. Okay, so thank you to our sponsors. All right, if you guys are ready, I just want you to drop a ready in the chat. Just drop a ready in the chat, and we will get it going today. Today's title, How to Create Winning Designs in Minutes with the Help of AI. Hopefully you're probably aware, AI is an incredibly powerful tool in today's world. And what I believe is if you're not embracing AI, especially in business, if you're not embracing it and figuring out how you can implement it more and more in your business, you're going to get left behind. I know some of us have our opinions about AI. I totally understand that. But where we are going is you have to embrace it or you're going to fall behind. And so today I want to teach you the simple ways that you can use AI to help you with your designs, t-shirt designs, apparel designs, print-on-demand designs, all those kind of things. Any product that you want to create designs for, AI can help you create those designs higher quality and more volume in less time. Okay, so that's pretty cool. What we're also going to cover today is we're also going to cover what makes a great design, because AI is amazing, right? But that doesn't mean that you can just create best-selling designs. You still need to know what to create. You still need to know what those look like, what kind of things to actually create. So we're going to look at some best-selling designs, why those are best-selling designs, and what goes into creating a winning design, and then how to do it, how to actually create those designs. I'm going to show you some of my favorite tools and all that good stuff. So I see so many readies in the chat. So let's get it going today. I'm going to close down the chat from my view. You guys can keep chatting in there. But as a reminder, I'm going to come back at the end of the session and we're going to answer some questions for you. So I'm going to put that chat to the side and we're just going to get it going today. So how to create winning designs in minutes with the help of AI. Movement creates momentum. Want to encourage you today. The whole idea of this event is that we are getting you into a state of movement. Every day, we're going through more movement. We're taking action, right? And that's going to create momentum in your business for you to accomplish incredible things. And here's the definition of momentum. I love this. Momentum means strength or force gained by motion or by a series of events. Literally what we're doing here is a series of events, right? And that's going to create strength and force in your life, in your business, and get you into that state of momentum. So if you want to get into that state of momentum with me, just drop momentum in the chat. I just want to see it. Who's ready to get it going? Get into that state of momentum. And don't quit. Continue taking action, taking that imperfect action every single day with me. Let's go. Let's do it. All right, so I want to start with this. I told you yesterday I was going to talk about this a little bit more. The question I want to answer for you is, should you file copyright protection or trademark protection for your designs? Should you file copyright or trademark protection for your design? So this is a tough subject. And as I mentioned yesterday, we always get so many questions on day one about this. This is kind of one of the things people jump to. And so I offered a little bit of advice yesterday, but I told you I was going to talk about it today. My first disclaimer, I'm not a trademark and copyright lawyer. I don't claim to be, and so I don't want to speak out of turn or speak on something that I'm not really an expert in. And this is a really complex subject. But I do want to give you my advice. And just don't take this as legal advice. This is just my personal opinion, okay? I don't think that you should file for copyright or trademark protections in the beginning when you are a starter, when you are a beginner. This can create a lot of friction, a lot of procrastination, and a lot of delay in you actually taking action. I think you should go out there, you should start selling as quickly as you can. And when you have a best-selling design, when you have a design that's really having traction, really taking off, then maybe that's a good time to go look at something like copyright or trademark protection for those designs. And I also want to encourage you that, look, I think we need to embrace the fact that and accept the fact that, yes, there is going to be copycats. Yes, there's going to be people who are going to try to copy what you are doing. I've been a victim of it. I've had brands rip off my designs and all those kind of things. It is part of the whole thing, and it stinks. But I don't think you should let that slow you down. I think you should charge forward, charge ahead, continue to create new designs, continue to be the best thing out there. But here's what I want, a little bit of encouragement for you is what I want to let you know is this. If someone is copying you, I want you to take an opposite perspective on this. You won. If someone is copying you, you won. And here's why. People don't typically copy designs or products that aren't selling. People don't typically copy designs that aren't selling. When we think about the most ripped off and copied brands in the world, brands like Nike and Adidas and Louis Vuitton and these huge brands, right? These are mega popular, like just multi-billion dollar brands. These are typically the things that people want to copy and try to rip off because they think they can make a quick buck. Typically, when you're a beginner, which most of us are on this call, we're beginners, okay? We're trying to build a business, build an apparel business. Typically, those aren't the brands people are going to be coming after. It's not until you really have those best-selling designs that people are going to start ripping you off. And if you see a brand ripping you off or copying your design, typically that means you won. You're doing something right? So you should give yourself a pat on the back, because typically if you see those copycats, that means you have a best-selling design. Okay, so I want you to take that opposite perspective. They say imitation is the greatest form of flattery, right? And so I want you to take that perspective, keep moving forward, keep moving ahead, keep taking action. I don't think you should file for these kind of trademarks or copyrights in the beginning, but maybe down the road as you have some success, you start to build your business, it might be something that you want to consider. But right now, I think it's going to slow you down. That's my advice. All right, let's move into t-shirt designing. Let's talk about it a little bit. T-shirt designing or product apparel designs in general can be hard. It takes a ton of time. You need knowledge of Photoshop or Illustrator, these complex tools, software. Sometimes you pay a designer $100 per design, $200 per design. I mean, some people pay $500 or more per design. And you have no guarantee it will actually sell. This is kind of the old way of doing design, right? You had to learn all these skills, learn how to use Photoshop. It takes all this time to create a design, or you had to pay a designer hundreds of dollars and you're left with no guarantee it will actually sell, right? This can be really frustrating. But with the Shirt School method, and for those of you maybe just now joining, maybe you weren't a part of yesterday's session, or maybe you don't know me at all, just a quick 2-second plug here. My name's Kerry Egler. I'm the founder of a program called Shirt School. We have thousands of students inside of our program. We have a community, a course, coaching, calls, all these different things. And we've helped thousands of people around the world using our system build profitable and sustainable online t-shirt and apparel businesses. Many of them are six-figure, multi-six-figure, and seven-figure earners inside of our program. And so we teach the Shirt School method for building that business. And one of those things that we teach is how to create designs in very little time, best-selling designs. And the Shirt School method only takes a few minutes instead of a ton of time. It requires no design experience or knowledge of software. And it's free or very inexpensive, right? And you're going to have the confidence it will sell. Now, tomorrow we're going to get into sourcing your products, how to actually use some of these tools like print on demand to sell one at a time as opposed to buying in bulk. And so when you leverage the power of technology along with fulfillment methods like print on demand, you can actually list as many products and as many designs as you want with little to no risk. I want you to kind of compare that to back in the day, maybe 20 years ago, where if you wanted to start an apparel business, you needed to order hundreds at a time, maybe 100 t-shirts at a time of one design to be able to get the pricing and then be able to do all that stuff. You had to pay designers, you had slow technology, all that stuff. We could go through all the barriers, right? But today, leveraging technology, leveraging fulfillment options that you have at your disposal, right? You can use the Shirt School method to have very little risk and higher confidence it will sell, okay? So I want to start off with this quote. Good artists copy, great artists steal. Now, Steve Jobs said this. Some people attribute it to Picasso, right? This is a pretty jarring quote. What does it actually mean? Good artists copy, great artists steal. Are they literally saying you should steal other people's art? Like, I want to know in the chat, what do you think about this quote? Right? Because I'll give you my interpretation on it and kind of the heart of it. But this is kind of a jarring quote. Good artists copy, great artists steal. What do you think this means? As I take a drink of water. So we're really getting deep today. We're getting deep. Philosophy. We're getting deep. But here's what, and I know your comments are coming in right now. I got a little bit of a lag on my end, but here's my interpretation of this quote and how we're going to talk about it today. Model winning designs, don't copy. The heart of this quote is that when you see something great, when you see a great piece of art, when you see a great design, there are things that you can take from that design as inspiration for your own designs. Now, I would never encourage you to copy another design or to steal another design. I think that's unethical. So I would never encourage you to do that. But I would absolutely encourage you, when you see great designs, to take inspiration from those designs and model some of the things that work with that design, right? Things like a color scheme, right? If you see me wearing this amazing, beautiful, I'm biased, but this white and red shirt school dad hat, right? If you see this dad hat and you're like, man, everybody's buying that dad hat, right? The shirt school dad hat. Not everybody's buying it, okay? But it is a cool hat, right? We don't sell it. We actually don't sell this hat. But if you see this hat and you're like, man, that's a cool design. I love that font. I love the color scheme, right? The style. Those are some things that you could take from this hat design and use in your own hat design, right? When you see other designs, you look at the color scheme, you look at the font style, you look at the layout of the design, you look at maybe the quote in the text in the design, and you say, maybe I can model that, right? We can model winning designs, not copy. Yeah, I love to see some of your comments as we just take a quick pause right here. A lot of you guys saying inspiration. I love that. You're right on base there. You take it and make it yours. Art doesn't exist in a vacuum. Don't reinvent the wheel. It says, Joe says it means you take inspiration from the greats. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I love that. You guys are right on the money. Let's keep going. So I'm going to teach you how to kind of implement this. And first, we're going to talk about the ingredients of a winning design. What actually makes a design that sells? Okay. Number one, it needs to cause instant emotion. Okay. Cause instant emotion. It needs to be relatable or make people laugh, make them cry, maybe get excited, even get angry, right? Sometimes a winning design can make some people angry if it's a polarizing design, but it can also get another set of people very fired up in a positive way, right? It makes people feel pride in something, right? These are emotions that we want to make people feel. And the key word here is instant. People have to feel that instantly because we're selling on the internet. When they see your design, there might be other designs, there might be other ads they're getting, there's going to be other posts coming across their timeline, all these different things, right? We want to make them feel something quickly within a few seconds. So we have to cause that instant emotion. Most winning designs, and I actually have a lot of data to back this up. I believe it's in my presentation today. Most winning designs are super simple. In fact, most of the time they only contain 1 to 2 elements in the entire design. Most of the time they only contain like 1 or 2 fonts, 1 or 2 colors. They're very simple designs. Most of them are actually only text-based. Some of the best-selling designs, right? So super simple. And if they're simple, they're going to connect with people quicker, get them to cause that emotion quicker. And lastly, oftentimes winning designs model something that's already working. They take elements and inspiration from other designs that are already working. I'm going to show you examples of this today. I'm going to show you all kinds of different fun stuff. But I want to start out by showing you some of the best-selling designs of all time. This is a very interactive session today, so I want to encourage you to use that chat, interact as we go through. These are some of the best-selling designs of all time. I love New York. You only live once. YOLO. Don't mess with Texas. Where my Texas people at? Oklahoma's better. No, I'm just kidding. Texas is awesome. Vote for Pedro, right? Napoleon Dynamite. Dare to resist drugs and violence. Just Do It from Nike. I want you to let me know in the chat, what do you notice about all these designs? What are you noticing? It just says Army on it, right? Keep Calm and Carry On. You guys probably remember this one from many years back because this one, how many variations were there of this, right? Keep Calm and Party On. Keep Calm and Sew On. Keep Calm and Bicycle On. Keep Calm and anything. I mean, anything you can think of, you just switch out that carry word and you've got a new design there. And these were, billions of dollars sold of these different variations of designs, people taking inspiration from this design. Austin 316, Stone Cold, right? Choose Life. What do you notice about all these designs? What do they have in common? I see a few comments already coming in. Danielle says they're super simple, right? Super simple. And Danielle, I apologize. I said Danielle. I just whiffed and said Daniel earlier. So I'm so sorry, but your name is Danielle, and I will not do that again, I promise. Joe says simple and bold. Angelica says simple and large, bold print. Few words, few colors, only a couple colors. Yeah, you guys are right on the money, right? These designs are simple. Many of them are text-based, right? And they make you feel an emotion, right? When you think about these things, when you see some of these designs, maybe like the Austin 316, right? How many of you loved professional wrestling during that time period, Stone Cold? It kind of takes you back to that place, right? Army might invoke an emotion for many of you that maybe have ties to the military, right? These cause those emotions for people. Think about how much you love Napoleon Dynamite, all those kind of things, how much you love Texas, right? They invoke that emotion. You feel that instant nostalgia emotion. They are simple designs, and these are some of the best-selling designs of all time. So we can take things from these designs and we can go, okay, how can I use that to my advantage, right? Well, they're emotional, they cause emotion, and they're very simple. So let's talk a little bit more about emotion. 80% of Americans say they feel a sense of attachment to one or more of their old t-shirts. 80% of Americans say they feel a sense of attachment to one or more of their old t-shirts. How many of you, let me know in the chat, you feel an attachment to one or more of your old t-shirts? I feel that emotional attachment, right? There's something special about a t-shirt, especially one that you've had for a long time. It's broken in. It's got that soft, worn feel. I always think about the guy that went to the AC/DC concert in like 1976, right? And he's like, he bought the shirt, the tour shirt, and he's still wearing it today, right? And it's got the holes in it and it's faded, but it's awesome. And he feels that attachment because he has an emotional connection to that t-shirt, because every time he puts it on, he goes back to 1976 in his head. He was much younger. He was feeling good, hanging out with his friends, watching his favorite band, jamming out, right? It's that emotional attachment, that emotion that you feel, right? It's so it's so powerful. Here's another example. I want to ask you in the chat, again, just making this interactive. When you see t-shirts like this, how does this make you feel? What do you start to feel when you see these t-shirt designs, right? We got a mom and her son, says you're killing me smalls, and then the son is smalls. We got a mom and her daughter, says storm chaser, and then you got a little tornado down here, right? When I see this, what do I think about? I think about my wife. I think about my daughter. I think about my son. I think about those emotions and how cute it is and how much I love them and how much I care about them. And I instantly feel those emotions. It makes me laugh, right? So I'm feeling these things, right? Feeling these things. And I see you guys are echoing that in the comments, right? So I want you to think about, I really want to stop and pause and just kind of drive this point home. When you're creating designs, you need to think about how is this going to make somebody feel? Is it going to make somebody feel anything? Like, are they going to feel anything? And I'll be completely honest with you. Most of the designs I see day in and day out, and I get the privilege because I get to work with thousands of students from around the world. I get the privilege of looking at so many websites and so many designs that are created by our students. And I see a lot of designs that just don't make you feel anything when you see them, right? And so I want you to put it through that filter. Is it going to make my ideal customer feel an emotion, feel something? Put it through that filter. Let's keep going. Let's talk about simplicity. And I believe this is where I have some stats in here. These are stats from one of the largest print-on-demand companies in the world. They do billions of dollars in sales each year. And these are statistics they actually put out last year. They said product listings with just one color option in both the apparel and non-apparel categories sell the most by far. Now, this is talking about variants on the color. So like a black shirt, a white shirt, a blue shirt. Just one option, like, sold the most by far. Isn't that crazy? Products, this is actually talking about the design. Products with 1 to 2 design elements outperform all others. These design elements could be text, images, or other forms of graphics, but just 1 to 2 design elements outperform all others, meaning you've got like one text with one font and maybe an icon or maybe a little image. Or just text, right? 1 to 2 design elements outperform all others. Products, this is crazy. Products with a single design element, so just text or just image or just some kind of graphic, account for 56% of all sales. 56% of all sales. Talking about a multi-billion-dollar company, 56% of all the sales were products that had with a design that had just one design element in the design. Check this out. Products with two design elements accounted for 24% of all their sales. So we can add that up, right? 56 plus 24, we've got 80%. Is that right? 66, yeah, 80%. So I want to drive this home. 80% of all the sales happening with one of the largest print-on-demand companies in the world, the designs have one or two design elements. Not a bunch of fonts, not a bunch of images, not a bunch of things pushed together. They're simple designs with little color options. It might be a black t-shirt with just text. Boom, right? The data backs it up. The data backs it up. Okay, let's talk about the formula for a winning design. So let's start to get into like, how do you actually do this? And I also want to show you some great selling designs from some of our Shirt School students so you can see what people are really doing and what's actually selling in the marketplace, okay? The formula for a winning design. Number one, you're going to find a popular design. I want you to consider where your customer, I call this your who, where your who shops and what is trending. Now, this method I'm going to walk you through, this is literally just what I've used for the last 9 or 10 years that works, time in, time out. It's proven, it's tried, it's tested. And this is what I teach to our students. So number one, we're going to find a popular design. We're going to consider where our customer shops and what's trending. If we go out to a company like The Gap, this might be not the most popular company today. I don't know, but I'm using it as an example. But if we go out here to The Gap and let's say our customer does shop here, maybe that's our demographic is somebody who's going to shop at The Gap. We can use these larger brands for a lot of data and inspiration and design inspiration. So we go out here and look and we look and see, okay, what are they actually promoting, right? They've got a lot more insight into what people will buy than we do. We're a small company. So let's look at some of these designs. So we start looking at some of the styles, right? We see this, let's say like this one, for instance, we see this 3D style of text, right? So we might say, okay, well, what if we did a 3D text design? It might be as simple as that. We take it back to our niche. Okay. And that's a key thing here is we want to adapt it to our niche. And that's coming up in step number 2. So I'm getting ahead of myself a little bit, but we're going to find some popular designs. Let's say we could go out here to Forever 21. Maybe this is where your customer shops, right? So we start looking at these designs and we start looking at some of the different designs here. I'm going to actually just zoom into this one right here. This one says, love who you are. It's a yellow shirt with a kind of a red or orange text right in the middle. Okay. Maybe that's a design that, is selling right now. And maybe we want to model it. So we take it back to our niche and we change that up. Okay. We maybe look at another one here. Maybe it looks like roses. Oh man, roses are really trending, right? So maybe we look at some of these rose designs and we start to do something with roses, right? So all we're doing is taking some screenshots from some of these popular websites, and many of them you can filter by best selling. And we're just gathering design inspiration. So then we can come back and say, man, I've got a bunch of designs that I can use for inspiration. Now, what elements can I take from there? Let's take a look at a little bit more. This is Etsy. Etsy is a great place to do research as well. Etsy is a place where a lot of marketplace sellers are selling, and it's a place where you can find a lot of trends. Okay, so what I've done here in this example is I've searched something like mountain t-shirt or outdoor t-shirt, camping t-shirt, right? And you start to look at what kind of things do you see here? Maybe we see this design right here. Let's zoom in on that one a little bit. Let's say this design right here. It's got an X, it's got the 3 letters, and then a little icon. So we're not looking at this design and saying, well, I'm going to create a Pacific Northwest t-shirt. We're looking at this and saying, well, I know this one's selling because this is like one of the popular designs on Etsy. How can I take this back to my niche and create a design that's somewhat similar, but for my niche? So maybe if I was in the Oklahoma niche and maybe I wanted to create this for, Oklahoma City, maybe I take this back and I change these letters to OKC and I put a little lightning bolt icon or a tornado or something, right? Something that signifies Oklahoma. But I could do a similar color scheme. I could take some inspiration from that. So I'm looking at these designs. Again, right here, we're on Amazon, another marketplace. We can do some research. We find some t-shirts here. We see some of these designs that we can maybe model some things from. We're not going to go create an MTV t-shirt, but we could take some of the vibes and color scheme from this t-shirt and say, okay, how can we create kind of a island tropical design that might sell well? And we also have for our Shirt School students, so for our actual paid members that are a part of Shirt School, we actually have a tool that we've built called the T-Shirt Idea Bank. So when you're a Shirt School member, you can actually get in there and we've loaded up hundreds of designs from around the internet, and you can just scroll through those and actually take inspiration from some of those, see what's actually out there in the marketplace. So this is a cool tool just to be able to kind of get that inspiration without having to scour the internet. We just built this tool to make it a little bit easier, where you can just kind of scroll through, see designs that are out there selling on the internet. We just kind of scraped them off the internet, put them in a tool for you. And it's a really cool tool to do some research with. So that's number one, is find a popular design. Number two, take inspiration from top designs. Okay, taking inspiration. We can look at the font style. We can look at the layout and composition. How are things placed on the design? Okay. We can take a look at the color scheme. Color scheme is a huge one, because if you're anything like me, let me know in the chat. If you're anything like me, you struggle a little bit to put together colors that work well together, right? That's something I struggle with. I don't know. Let me know in the chat if that's you, if you struggle with kind of like, well, what colors actually work together? Well, the easiest hack I can give you is just use colors from other beautiful designs, right? Nobody's got trademarks on colors. You can use the color scheme, right? You can take that inspiration. So use the color scheme. What color is the t-shirt? What color are the fonts, right? What color is the design, right? Taking some of those elements, using them to your advantage, right? And then number three. So number one, find a popular design. Number two, change up the ingredients for your own niche. Number three, we actually need to create the design, okay? So let's talk about a little bit about what this looks like. Let's say you're in the cat niche. Let's say you're selling in the cat niche, right? And you go see that this is one of the best-selling designs out there. It says Choose Life, right? It's not in the cat niche, totally unrelated, but you've got this Choose Life design. Well, you go back and you say, I'm going to create a similar design in the cat niche, and then a few minutes later, you have the Choose Cats design. Yes, right? I went there. But it really is that simple, right? This took me just a few minutes to recreate a similar design. You can see I took the font style, I took the layout from that popular t-shirt, Choose Life, and I brought it back to the cat niche and made a cat design, right? And so within just a few minutes, I was able to take inspiration, but create something for my niche, right? For my niche. That's the key part. Pretty cool. Okay, let's take a look at some best-selling designs from some of our Shirt School students, right? These are people who have joined the Shirt School program, gone through the program, built out their business using our methods. So this t-shirt right here from one of our students, his name is Jason, not Jason that's on this call, different Jason. But this is from one of our students, Jason. It says, try running. It's like walking, but faster. Try running. It's like walking, but faster. And actually, so here's what I'm going to ask you to do. I want you to guess in the chat how much this design has sold for Jason in his business. How much do you think this design has sold? Now, I'm using older numbers, so I'm sure these numbers have gone way up, but I'm going to give you the numbers from when I put them in here. How much do you think this design has sold? Again, from one of our students. And so while you're putting that in, I want to let you know that in just a few minutes, I'm actually going to do a variation on this design. So I'm going to show you how you can kind of take inspiration from even something like this and take it into a different niche, totally unrelated. So we've got some comments here. Matt says 50K. Roy says $600, man. It's not that good. $600. Kay says 300K. Imran says 50,000. Property Solutions 25. Angelica $100. He's only sold like 4 of them. All right. This one is sold. I love it. Sold over $50,000. Who nailed that? Imran. Imran nailed that. You get an applause. Congratulations. Nice guess. Nice guess. This one sold over $50,000 at the time when I put this together, which was a while back. There's only 2 colors in this design. If you actually look at this design, right, the actual design just has blue and white. The red is from the t-shirt. You actually have 2 colors in this design, right? And this causes an emotion. He's in the running niche. And when you see this, what does it do? It makes you laugh, right? You go, try running. It's like walking, but faster. Oh, man, that's funny. That's funny. I'm a runner. Like, I get it. I'm not an actual runner, but I'm saying if you were a runner, I hate running. I hate running. Much rather play pickleball. It's much funner, and I get a good workout. But anyways, if you're a runner, right, it's funny. You get it. Okay, let's do the next one. Okay, I am the warranty. This one says, I am the warranty. Okay, I want you to guess how much this one has sold. You get an applause for anybody who gets it. But this one's for the blue collar worker, right? The guy who loves to tinker with things, take apart things, right? And he says, I ain't buying your dang warranty. I am the warranty. I'll fix my own stuff, right? And you can see even down to the color of the t-shirt, it's this like military green t-shirt with black on it. It's a super simple design, probably created in 15 minutes, right? But how much, this is from one of our Shirt School students. This is actually, his name is Josh, and he absolutely crushes it with this design as well as many others. So we had a couple guesses here. Curtis says 20,000. Imran was spot on last time. He says 70,000, but Imran, you're not on this one. Well, are you actually, Imran? I can't remember what this one is. Rob says 100,000, 75,000. Jason says 20K, 30K. All right, we're playing the game. This one has sold over. Wait, Imran, man, has Imran seen this before? Imran, where you at, man? Do you know the answers to this? Because Imran nailed it again. I don't remember Imran being on a previous challenge, but maybe you have, Imran. I don't know. Maybe you just weren't speaking up on a previous challenge, but this one sold over $70,000. Imran, you got to let me know. Are you cheating somehow? You going into the future? Because I am live. I'm 100% live right now. So I don't know how Imran's getting that. Imran says no, he has not been a part of past challenges. All right, well, dude, you got some skills. You need to as most people would say, you need to go buy a lotto ticket. Okay, let's keep going. We got to get going. This is extremely simple design, causes emotion, that pride, relatability. All right, Imran, if you can get the next one, we got to like hook you up with something, a $20 gift card or something. All right, the last one says, I'd smoke that. Okay, I'd smoke that. You got a cow here. Again, this is from one of our Shirt School students. I want you to guess how much this one has sold. Okay, again, older numbers, but I want you to guess how much this one has sold from one of our Shirt School students. I'm going to wait just a second for you guys. And Imran, you can't get this one, dude. You can't get this one, man. I'm going to lose it if you get this. You just can't. Anyway, somebody else get it. I want you to guess in the chat, how much has this one sold? We're playing like a game show or something right now. How much has this one sold? Okay, waiting for your comments to come in. Just one more second here. Okay, here we go. All right, so we've got 300,000. We've got 100K. Wendy says 100K. I'm waiting for Imran's guess to see what his guess is. 45,000, 60,000, or maybe we just need to put it on there before Imran gets to it. Okay, Imran says somewhere between 65,000 and 100,000. Okay, this one from one of our Shirt School students has sold over $1 million. Over $1 million in sales. Yes, this is like an incredibly best-selling design. Imran did not get it. Nobody else got it that I saw. So, sold over $1 million. Come on. How many of you know $1 million would change your life? For sure. And it did for this student as well. Niche focused, causes emotion. It's funny. You know, if you smoke meat, you get this. It's funny, right? Over $1 million sold. All right, let's keep it going here. We got to keep moving forward. No more fun and games. So let's talk about some current trends that you can take advantage of. Number one, groovy fonts. Still really popular, current trend right now. University fonts. Country and Western styles are coming on strong right now. You can take country and Western style back to your niche, create some country and Western themed things. Huge trend right now. Vintage and distressed styles are still popular. I think probably vintage is kind of always in style. Natural colors such as tan, sand, olive, pale blues, pinks, sage. Super popular right now, natural colors. Personalized products. Anytime you do a personalized design, right? Very popular right now. And then just a product trend right now, belt bags. We're seeing belt bags just take off in the last 6 months or so. Belt bags are a huge trend. These are just a few that you can take advantage of. Another one is oversized t-shirts, oversized sweatshirts. Super huge right now, super popular. Different things you can take advantage of for some current trends. If you want to screenshot that, get a screenshot real quick. I'll leave it on the screen. 3, 2, 1. Boop. All right, we're back. Okay, let's keep it going. How AI can help us. So moving into, I promised to talk about AI a little bit on this session. I want to show you how AI can help you. And then I'm going to do a few demonstrations with AI, but how AI can help us. Number one, it's going to save us time. It's going to give us ideas and inspiration. In fact, I personally think one of the best uses for AI is literally just inspiration and ideas. It's so incredibly good at just coming up with ideas and getting our brain working, right? Because some of the best ideas in history, they come from conversations that we have, right? And topping out the different topics and just spurring things. And so ideas and inspiration is a huge one. Saves you a ton of money, right? So inexpensive to use comparatively to paying designers, learning expensive tools like Photoshop, etc. Saves you so much money and helps us get way more designs done. Comes with that saving time element. We can do 100 designs in the time we used to be able to do 5 designs or 10 designs, right? We can do way more. These are 2 like super quick designs I created 100% with AI. Dogs make everything better. This is a pickleball one, divorce court, right? Super simple designs. These are actually, I created these a while ago with AI, but I want to talk to you about 2 ways you can use AI. The first one here being this. You can create your full design with AI, meaning start to finish, create the full design. Then you can use other software to just basically remove the background, upscale it, so make it a little bit bigger, and then just load it up onto a t-shirt or a product. This is kind of the first way you can use AI for design is you can create the entire design from even just one prompt many times. I'm going to demonstrate that in just a moment. Another way to use AI, so kind of like option number 2, is you can use AI to assist in your design creation, right? So let's say you need to generate a cat wearing sunglasses, right? You can generate that image, that design of a cat wearing sunglasses. Then maybe you use software such as like Kiddle, Canva, or whatever your software is of choice to load up that image and then add text to it or edit it, do some minor edits, right? And then this gives you kind of more control and freedom to create the exact design you want. So 2 ways to use AI, just to kind of recap that. Number 1, I'm going to demonstrate this. Number 1 is AI can create your full design start to finish, but for some of you that want more control, really want to kind of edit those designs, you're going to want to use some kind of combo of AI along with tools like Kiddle, which I'm going to show you Kiddle. It's my tool of choice to actually finalize those designs and do some kind of edits to those designs. So 2 AI softwares that I love. I've already mentioned these yesterday and then today a little bit. Number 1, Ideogram. Ideogram is so good. It's so good. I'm going to demonstrate it here in just a moment. But you can go over to shirtschool.com/Ideogram. And if you sign up for Ideogram there, you can get 100 bonus priority prompts. I'll drop that link in the chat, shirtschool.com/Ideogram. If you use that link, you get 100 bonus priority prompts generations, meaning they'll generate a little bit faster for you if you use that link. That's number 1. Now, what Ideogram does really well, which I'm going to demonstrate in just a moment, Ideogram is the best tool for actually generating text. So if you want to generate stylized text, Ideogram is like the best tool for that. And by the way, guys, I see a lot of questions coming in, a lot of great questions. Thank you for your questions. I will get to those questions at the end. So I do want to let you know that I'm going to save time for those questions at the end. I love that you're engaging in the chat. Continue to do that. But I will get into those questions at the end. All right. So Ideogram, great tool for generating stylized text. The other tool I want to talk about here is Kiddle. And I have a special offer if you want to take advantage of Kiddle. But what Kiddle is a full graphic design, a web-based graphic design software. If you haven't heard of Kiddle, you've probably heard of their competitor Canva, right? Canva and Kiddle are very similar softwares. The biggest difference in my mind being that Kiddle really focuses in more on t-shirt, apparel, and print-on-demand sellers like us. So a lot of their tools are really designed for us as t-shirt, apparel, and print-on-demand sellers. And so it kind of makes it stand out a little bit more to me for what we need it for as opposed to tools like Canva. And if you sign up for Kiddle, I just want to have these special offers for you. I want to let you know about them. You can use our link, shirtschool.com/Kiddle, and that will actually, you can use our code there. I'm going to drop that in the chat for you, shirtschool.com/Kiddle. The discount code is EglerYT, and that actually gives you 25% off. Let me explain this. 25% off your entire first year of using Kittl. So 25% off the year if you pay for the year, or it gives you 25% off the first month. Okay. So you can do it either way. If you do monthly, you're going to get 25% off the first month. If you do it yearly, you're going to get 25% off your entire year. So I want to start out by showing you a little bit about Kittl. So here's the actual pricing. I want to be super transparent with you. If you choose to sign up for this, you can start for free, absolutely, and you can get started. It gives you 5 projects, gives you a few AI credits to play with. They have a lot of incredible AI tools in there. So absolutely, you can get started with free. For most people, I would recommend this pro plan. If you're somebody who's really serious about building your apparel business and you're needing a graphic design tool, this pro plan would be a great option. That's going to upgrade you to 50 projects, 200 AI credits per month, 10 gigabytes of file storage, as well as a bunch of other more advanced and premium features. You can do $15 per month. And again, you'll get 25% off that first month with our discount code and our link. If you go over to yearly, this is where it's a big savings. This is $10 per month, $120 annually. And if you use that discount code, you actually get 25% off that entire year, which is pretty big. I think it drops it down to like $90, somewhere around there. So that's a really good option for you. So you can take advantage of that this week. If you'd like, shirtschool.com/Kittl, Kittl. Over here on, when you actually go over to shirtschool.com/Kittl, you'll be taken here and you'll be able to look through some of the amazing features that they offer. And I would encourage you to look through these. I'm going to show you a very few select features, but in the consideration of our time, we're not going to go super deep into all the features. So I'm going to actually minimize this, and I'm going to show you a little bit of the inside of Kittl. I want to show you 2 main things. The first thing being their templates. So when you're actually inside of Kittl, so you actually go over to shirtschool.com/Kittl, you get signed up for Kittl. You get in here and you click on this templates button. And if you actually go up here to merchandise, you're going to see t-shirts, hoodies, bags, hats. This is going to give you thousands of templates to be able to use for your designs. Now, what's cool about Kittl's templates is if you actually look right down here at these little names, this one says Yoga, Rendy, Maurice, right? You got all these names. These are actually pro designers that have been hired by Kittl and allowed them to create templates for the Kittl software. So all these designs you're seeing are actually created by pro designers, right? So these are not like low quality designs. These are actually really, really good. Now, if we load up one of these templates, I'm going to click on this one right here. Everything is editable inside of that template once we get in here. So we can edit the text, right? We can edit this image in the middle. We can adjust it however we want, but we can make it our own, right? Bring it back to our niche, right? If we wanted to, this is a really cool skull and skateboard design. But if we wanted to put something else in here, right, we could just delete that element. We could go over here to the left, click on Kittl AI, right? And we could actually use the image generator to create our own image right there of something else, right? Maybe we want to put something else right there, right? So we can go over here. Now, what's actually cool too is you can actually use inside Kittl, you can use different models. You've got DALL-E 3, which is from ChatGPT. You've got Flux 1.1 Pro, and you've also got a little bit of available use with the ideogram model. So you can actually use some of the ideogram features right here from Kittl. So we could click on that. Now, I'm not going to spend too much time here, so this isn't going to be the best prompt, but we could type up a prompt here. What if we did a rock and roll style? Let's actually say like motorcycle style dog head drawing, wearing a headband with a cigarette in his mouth, looking mean. We'll just do that. This may be totally bad, but it may be horrible, but we're just going to generate this. We didn't spend a lot of time on that prompt, but I do want to show you how easy it is just to delete an element out of here, right? And then use the AI to actually put your own element in there. And then we could just change up some of the text. So we're going to wait just a second here for this to actually generate. There we go, right there, right? So there's our dog. Now you might be looking at that dog and you're like, That's not going to work, right? But what's cool is I can go over here and I can use some of the other AI tools. Let's actually take my face off the screen. So if I click on this remove background button, right, I can probably, there we go, get rid of that background, right? And now I've got my dog smoking a cigarette with the bandana, looking awesome, right? So now we can take this guy, make him bigger, right? And maybe we move him back. We can take him backwards here. Actually, let's move him all the way to the back, right? So we can put him behind if we want. We can bring him in the front. We can edit and play with this, right? Get him in the right place. But then maybe we want to change this up, change this text, right? And we can make it something related to our niche. And just like that, we've got basically a brand new design that's pretty awesome, right? That we just created in just a few minutes. We can hit this share button. We could export it, and it's ready to go on a t-shirt. Like it's literally that simple. It's pretty cool. So that's kind of the first thing I wanted to just touch on. Now, also what's really cool in Kittl is when you actually start up a new project in Kittl, you're going to be taken here. And Kittl even has, this is kind of what I was talking about, how they kind of focus on print-on-demand sellers, t-shirt sellers, apparel sellers, right? You can click on this print-on-demand button right here, and they actually have templates for different types of products, right? We could use this Printify t-shirt right here, hit create, and this is going to be ready. The artboard is going to be ready to go on a t-shirt, right? So it's going to be set up already with the proper sizing and different things to go on a t-shirt, right? Over here on the left, we have a bunch of different tools from text to, and actually let me demonstrate the text really quickly. This will be kind of the last thing I'll demonstrate here, but if we add a text element and we actually make this bigger, we'll make it 200 like that, right? And then we can actually adjust this a little bit. But if you actually create a text element here, one thing I want to show you right down here in the bottom right is we have this transformation button. If we click on that transformation button, this is one of the things I love about Kittl is we have pretty crazy text transformation options that we can play with here. And this is just one of the things I love about Kittl because it's so great for t-shirt designs, right? If we want to heavily edit this text, this is something you actually don't really get in Canva much at all. You get like a little bit of circular style text, but there's so much cool stuff we can do here to really edit this text. And that's one of the really cool features. There's a ton of other things that we could get into with Kittl. I'm going to kind of leave it right there. But I encourage you, if you want to check it out, go sign up. You can even start with the free account, play with it, see if it's something you want to take a little bit further and use. The other thing I want to spend just a moment showing you is Ideogram, right? Ideogram, as we mentioned yesterday, such a cool tool. If we actually go over to Ideogram, I'll show you that real quick. This is the inside of Ideogram. I've already put in a prompt here that says, create a t-shirt design in a groovy font style that says, try singing, it's like talking, but prettier. Give it a flat background. Now, if you remember earlier, one of our students had a best-selling design that said, try running, it's like walking, but faster. So what did I do? I used that as inspiration, okay? And then I came up with something that says, try singing, it's like talking, but prettier. Now, I've put in a very simple prompt, so who knows how good this is going to be. But we're going to generate this. And while this is generating, you see down there, I'm going to click on a few things here. If I click on, they actually have a t-shirt filter up here where you can actually see the t-shirt designs that people are actually creating right now with Ideogram from just a prompt. Check that out. Right? Like these are pretty awesome t-shirt designs. Okay. Now you can see down here in the bottom that my generation is ready. So if I actually click on this, here is my generation right here. And it's going to give me 4 different options. Try singing. It's like talking, but prettier. That one's pretty cool, right? Now what's cool about this, right? I created this from one prompt. That's probably the one I would go with. This is a trending kind of style with this groovy font. And what I could do is I could take this and I could just remove the background. In fact, I could pop this over into Kittl and remove the background in Kittl, right? Pretty cool. And this design is ready to go right on a t-shirt. Like it literally is that simple. You simply download it, remove the background, maybe upscale it. You might need to upscale it, and it's ready to go, right? That's probably the one that I like the most. There's lots of other things you can do here inside Kittl or inside Ideogram, but I'm going to kind of leave it there. I think Ideogram for text specifically is the best AI. You can see how well it interprets text. I'm a frog, I don't need a vacation, right? It doesn't, that one actually does have a typo in it. There's no I there. But you can look through these. I would encourage you to play and look through these, and you'll find some really complex, if we go to poster, you'll probably see some on posters that have some complex text that it's very impressive that the AI is able to interpret that text. All right. Pretty cool, pretty cool. All right, so let's put it all together. Let's put it all together. Step 1, find popular designs for inspiration. Step 2, use elements of the design for inspiration, such as fonts, colors, words, layout. And step 3, create your design. Now, you can use a template in something like Kittl or even Placeit. If you signed up for Placeit yesterday, they have templates in there. Or you can use something like Kittl or AI to actually create those designs, whatever kind of your method of choice is. There's many different ways you can do it. But step 3, you're going to create your design. So your challenge today, the challenge for you today, finish your first design. I want you to use one of these tools that we've kind of shown. No, you don't have to pay for them if you don't want to. You can use the free versions. They're absolutely sufficient to get your first design done, right? It doesn't have to be perfect on day one. Get that first design done. If you're feeling ambitious, you want to go for 2 to 5, man, go for 2 to 5 designs and start to create your first few designs. So you're going to go out, you're going to do a little bit of research, right? You're going to find some designs, you're going to get some inspiration. You're going to start to take elements of those designs and create a few of your own designs. And remember to take imperfect action. And also, before we get into Q&A today, I'm going to hang out, answer some of your Q&A. We're right at about 60 minutes right now. I told you we'd get you out of here pretty quick. Before we get into Q&A, I want to remind you that tomorrow, day 3, 11 a.m. Central Time, it's going to be 12 p.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. We're going to be back with how to fulfill your orders, all your orders, without mountains of cash or any manual work. So tomorrow we're going to be getting into like, how do you create real products? That's the question we want to answer tomorrow. We got designs, we got our niche, we got logo, all these different things. How do we actually create real products that we can sell? And we're going to start to get into how to build out your store and those kind of things, right? So that's tomorrow. Make sure you're here for that tomorrow. All right, I want to get into your questions. If I start too low and I don't get your question, please just ask it again in the chat. I'll do my best to get as many as I can here. So I'm going to go back to, we're going to start with, okay, I think Wendy had a lot of people saying Wendy has a design. Okay. This is, has a question. I'm sorry. Wendy asked, is the resolution from an AI design really good enough? Okay, here's the answer. It's complicated, but some AIs do generate images that are by themselves good enough. Some AIs do. But with most AIs, what you will want to do is you will want to upscale the design. I can probably show you a quick example of that. So let me actually I think this will be valuable because a lot of people are asking about it. I'm going to download my Try Singing It's Like Talking But Prettier straight from Ideogram, and we're going to pop it into Kittl. So let's actually open this real quick. And I'll share my screen here in just a second. You guys hang with me. Okay, so I've got the design that I just created up on my screen. Here it is in the browser. Now, this by itself, if we zoom into this is pretty good quality, but I don't know if you guys can see, but yeah, it gets a little bit pixely here. Now, if we wanted this to be better quality, what we would want to do is we would want to upscale this design. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to go over to Kittl, over to my project, and now there are many tools to do upscaling, and you can do it absolutely free. I've actually got a free tool on my desktop down here somewhere. Maybe it's not on my desktop. Right here, Upscale. If you see that down there at the bottom, Upscayl. This is a free AI upscaling tool that you can download on your computer. Upscayl, Upscale. That one you can use to just upscale. It's a free tool. You can upscale any design. And what it will do is it will actually recreate the AI design much bigger. But I want to show you how simple this is. So I created this, Try Singing It's Like Talking But Prettier. I created that in Ideogram. I'm literally going to drag it into my Kittl project, which is already set up for a t-shirt. you're going to see right there, came in pretty small, right? Now, what's cool about Kittl is if I go over here on the right, I actually have an upscale button right here. So I can actually click this upscale button. And if we wait just a minute, it should actually upscale itself and make itself much bigger. So we're going to see how much bigger it gets. Okay, image upscale. Now let's drag this out and let's see what the quality's like. Okay, the quality there, it's still not super great. So we might need to actually upscale it again. Let's hit the upscale button again. Image too large to upscale. So maybe it's already good. So what we want to do now is let's remove the background. Okay, we'll remove the background. And once we kind of get it here, it's in a pretty good place. Now, if you feel like it's still not good quality, if you're looking at it, you're like, man, this isn't great quality, and you do need to upscale it some more, I would probably recommend using something like this upscale tool down here, right? Downloading something like that or finding another upscaler on the internet. But this right here, is essentially what you can do. Upscale it in Kittl, remove the background, and then we have pretty much a t-shirt ready design, okay? But you do need to upscale. To answer your question, you do need to upscale the design in most cases. There are some AIs where it will output like higher quality designs, but you can see in this example, like the design we got needed to be upscaled pretty heavily to be able to be used on a t-shirt. So you do need to upscale it. Okay, PLM says those numbers of sales are incredibly impressive, but what are the profits? Yeah, I want to be transparent with you guys. Like typically the profits can be anywhere from like 20 to 35, 40%, like end of everything, right? And the reason actually those numbers are quite high when you say like 20 to 35%. Those numbers are quite high for an apparel brand, and the reason is because these are internet apparel brands, right? So we don't have a lot of hard cost baked into our models, right? We can actually make a little bit higher profit margin. So typically our students, somewhere around 30, 35% is where we try to get to, where we encourage you to try to get that profit margin at the end of all your expenses. But that's going to be kind of what they're looking at as far as profit margin. Let's see. Annie says, if total AI created can't be copyrighted, is that true? I don't believe that's true. I'm not a copyright and trademark expert, but I believe you can copyright and trademark your own original designs through AI because they are original. They're not, unless you're directly copying something, unless you're like putting in Darth Vader head, right? You can't copyright or trademark that, but you can. They are original designs that are being created with AI. Let's keep it going here. Jason said, AI offers plenty sufficient resolution. Also, different tools allow different qualities based on your purposes. Yeah, absolutely. That is completely correct, Jason. I appreciate your answer on that, 100%. And I know I mentioned this a little bit. I don't know if you guys know Jason Humphrey in the chat yet, but Jason works with me at Shirt School. He's part of our team here. And he's actually one of the co-owners here at Shirt School, which is awesome. So I love that he's offering advice here. And you're actually going to be hearing from Jason a little bit on Friday's session, I believe. We're actually going to be, I don't even know if I should be telling you guys yet, but we're going to be bringing on Jason on Friday's session towards the end. So you're going to be learning a little bit. He's our expansion guy, very smart, very intelligent. So we appreciate your advice, Jason. We're looking forward to hearing from you on Friday. Kathy says, what are some great t-shirt brands? Quality, soft, natural fibers. Yeah, great question, Kathy. What I would say, I kind of mentioning this every day, we will talk about this more, especially tomorrow. So it'll be super brief today, but some of the ones that I love Bella and Canvas. Bella and Canvas is great. The reason I love Bella and Canvas is because it's really, it's a well-priced brand, right? It's affordable, but also high quality. So I love Bella and Canvas stuff. Very trendy, very high quality. Some other brands like Next Level, really great stuff. And again, I'd probably encourage you to go over to maybe like Gelato, search some of they've got a lot of organic options on there, different options you can look at, some high quality stuff on there for sure. Kay says, so you have to revise the template in some way to use. Yeah, anytime you use a template, this is a great thing to point out. Anytime you use a template, you have to change something in the template. You can't just export the template as is and use it. You have to change an element of the template, okay? You have to change the text. You have to change out an icon, something. You have to change something. You can't use the template like 100% as is, okay? Joe says, does Kittl produce a AI or EPS file so you can dump it into a vector art design program like AI Illustrator or Adobe Illustrator for further editing. I don't believe it will do either one of those as far as I know. You can do an SVG. So if you want to be able to, do some of that vector stuff, you can do an SVG. But the options I see, PNG, JPEG, SVG, or PDF for Kittl export options. All right, let's keep going. Going down here, get some more questions today. All right, lots of comments. Just bear with me as I'm getting through here. We just kind of mentioned this, but Wendy asked, what is the format of the final art? I think if you're talking about from Ideogram, the one that I downloaded from Ideogram, I did download the PNG. You can also download the JPEG, but I would go with the PNG. It's going to be a little bit better quality from directly from Ideogram. So I would stick with the PNG. Let's keep going. Can you distress designs in Kittl? Yes, there are some features to do distressing in Kittl. I don't know that I can show that right off the bat, just because off the top of my head, I don't know exactly how to do that in Kittl, just kind of off the cuff. But I believe they do have some different ways of doing that to actually distress designs in Kittl. You might want to do a little bit more research on that to kind of figure out exactly what method to do that with in Kittl. But what I find, and just kind of in general, is I find that Kittl is much more powerful in that way, doing some more complex design stuff like distressing, as opposed to Canva, right? Canva is a little more basic when it comes to some of the more advanced design options, where Kittl has a lot of that built in. And one of the ones I showed you earlier was that text transformation that Kittl just does really good on. How many designs do you recommend launching with? We'll get into this tomorrow, but I would say a minimum of like 4 to 5 is really where I try to get it, somewhere around like 4 to 5 designs. If you can get up to, 8 to 10, I think that's great. I think that's better, but at least maybe 3 to 5 designs is really where I would want you to be when you launch. Lance is ready to roll. I love it, love it, love it. Okay, I already answered that one from Kay about templates there. Danielle says, where can we send some of our designs if we want feedback from you? Danielle, that's a great question. We want to offer as much feedback as we can. You're welcome to send some of that stuff over to support@shirtschool.com. I can't guarantee that we'll be able to get back with you super timely on something like that. Typically, we do offer a lot of different options for our Shirt School students. So we offer a lot of like design critique and website review options for our Shirt School students. And just so you guys are aware, we will have an opportunity to be a part of Shirt School, become a part of Shirt School later in the week. We want to provide a ton of value this week for like next to nothing, right? $5, $1 a day. And if you choose to, move forward with us and become a part of Shirt School, totally up to you. We want to offer a ton of value for basically nothing this week. But we will have an option to become part of Shirt School and get deeper training, get, some of those things you're asking for some of that critique. So feel free to send it over to support@shirtschool.com. I don't know how quickly we'll be able to get back with you, but we can definitely take a look at it for you. Soul Aligned Vision. What is your daily, weekly schedule, design versus creation versus marketing? Once you get your website built out, there's 2 things you're going to want to focus on. You kind of nailed it on the head. You're going to want to focus on design creation and marketing. Those are the 2 things. You want to get past all the initial stuff like building out your website so that you can really focus on new designs and marketing those designs. You can spend as much or as little time as you want on those kind of things each day. But what does a typical schedule look like, right? You might wake up, you might spend 3-4 hours total. You can work on it all day. Totally up to you how much time you want to put in it. I don't know. It's different for everybody. If you're working a job, if you're working on this full time, it's totally up to you. But typically for me, I might be spending an hour to 2 hours creating new designs, creating those products in my store. And then I might spend another hour to 2 hours on marketing. And one thing that I like to do is scheduling out those posts, whether that's a social media post, an ad, scheduling out those things out to where I don't have to do it each day, but it can kind of do it on autopilot. As much as we can automate, I would encourage you to automate email campaigns, different things. Again, this is a question that's a little bit later down the road where we could get a little bit deeper on that, maybe Thursday, Friday session. But that would be a little bit of advice on that. It's going to be different for everybody, so it's really tough. Joe says, do they generate a vector file? I think the question earlier was from Joe. One thing I do want to mention on this is that You can turn your designs in Kittl into a vector. I could probably demonstrate that real quick, and then we're probably just going to take maybe one or two more questions here as we kind of wrap it up. But let me actually drop in that singing design again. Let's see here. We'll drop that in. Okay, let's share my screen. So if we drop in that singing design, and we actually want to turn this into a vector, there's actually a button for this right here. Actually, you know what? Now that I'm looking at this, I think I actually had the old design in there. You can actually see this is the upscaled version, which actually does look much better quality. My apologies earlier. I was like, why was it low quality? Well, I actually still had the old version. This is the upscaled version. You can see it's much higher quality. So disregard some of those things I was saying earlier. Once you upscale it in here, it does actually greatly increase the quality. But if you did want to actually vectorize this, you could do that over here with this vectorize button. Now I'm going to start by removing the background. Let's remove the background. Then let's hit vectorize. Now what's cool about this vectorize option, if I actually take my head off the screen, you can actually specify how many colors you want to vectorize. So this one right here, I think we've just got 3 colors in this. So I'm going to do 3 colors. And I'm going to hit vectorize image. Let's see how good of a job it does with this image. Hopefully it does a pretty good job here. Okay, perfect. So what this does, what's really cool, is that you can scale it up to be as big as you want without really losing quality, but you can also now change the colors. So if I like this design from AI, but I didn't really like the color scheme, I could change these colors. So maybe I want this to be white. Maybe I want it to be, a completely different color. Let's go with like a pink, right? And I just want to change this color up. I can do that, right? So now I've got a pink and purple design, which is actually vectorized, right? And I can change it as much as I want. So you can actually vectorize files in Kittl, which is a super, super useful tool. It's really, really cool. Okay, let's do a couple different ones here. Kay says, do you ever offer personalized t-shirts? If so, how do they sell? Personalized t-shirts, personalized products are a huge trend right now. And there are tons of brands that are multi-million-dollar brands that do personalization. It's something I would heavily encourage. It can be a little bit harder to set up. Tomorrow, I'll show you a little bit about personalization in Gelato. Gelato makes it pretty easy to set up personalized products, but it's a huge trend, and it's something that, if you want to explore it, I would encourage you to do it. Just know that it can be a little bit more technically challenging when you get into that personalization. Can you use ChatGPT images created on a free account for logos since it's not being commercialized or sold for profit? I believe so, but you probably want to check specific terms and conditions around that because I can't say 100% certainty that can be used in the way that you're wanting to use it. I believe so, but you might want to double check their terms and conditions on that. Will we cover the importance of shirt quality later? Yes, this is something I'll definitely touch on later in the week, probably tomorrow a little bit more. And you can definitely ask this question, ask the more specific question as we get further into the week. Lance says, what DPI? You want to go 300 DPI for your t-shirt designs. 72 DPI is good for your screen, for like a digital screen. But because your t-shirt design is actually something that you're going to want to print on a t-shirt, you actually need to make sure it's 300 DPI. Can you use the image of a landmark, special building, stadium, or beach without getting in trouble? Again, I'm not a copyright and trademark lawyer, so take it with a grain of salt. But I believe most public places like this can be used, right? Most state flags, city flags, landmarks, different things like that can be used. Don't take me at my word for that, but I believe so. That's a good question. Works well for upscaling. All right, let's do one more here. Templates from Kittl and place it needs to be upscaled too. These do not need to be upscaled. The templates do not need to be upscaled. They are ready to go. That's a good question there. Okay, let's do one more here. Trying to find one more. See, somebody maybe we haven't answered yet. Okay, we'll just do... Sorry. I was trying to see if there's anybody hadn't got to get a question answered. I think I've already answered that one. Daily scheduling. All right, well, I think we'll cap it there. I think I've answered most of these. Some of you guys have posted them again, more than one time. All right, you guys are amazing. What an amazing day. That was a really good session. Quick reminder, make sure you're back with us tomorrow, 11 a.m. Central Time, 12 p.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific, how to fulfill all your orders without mountains of cash or any manual work. We will see you tomorrow. You guys are amazing. Thank you for being such a great crowd today. Go get creating your designs. Get back tomorrow so we can learn some more. Carrie signing off. Have a great day.